Hey everybody, it's Dana from Serious Vanity. It's April 26th, 2016. I want to talk a little bit today about my favorite Twitter tip. So once upon a time, Serious Vanity had a Twitter profile, and it was a good Twitter profile. I will say that it was very applicable at the time, probably ranged from like 2010 to like 2013 or something, and maybe not even that far in. But it went null because I stopped using social media for a while, and I kind of rebranded and got my bearings. And when I decided to start it up again in 2015, I really wanted to start fresh. And so I cleared the page. I kind of got all my branding in order. Really, at the time, there was 100 and some odd followers. I mean, it's just really, really small. And I decided that I wanted to grow it organically. I didn't want to buy followers. I didn't want to do anything stupid to try and get followers because I wanted them all to be really relevant. So I knew that it was going to take some time. I started to really follow influencers. You guys know I'm a multimedia producer, so that's as far as voiceover and music and video. I'm definitely following people that do that, but inbound marketing in general has taken a much bigger role in my life. So I started to follow content marketers and things like that as well. And I noticed that sometimes they would be tweeting a lot, and I started to follow what does that mean? I wasn't really familiar with much about social media at that point. I was kind of a clean slate. But I was intrigued by the Twitter chat concept. And so I started to follow along on some of the chats that some of the influencers that I liked were doing. And then I kind of started to dip my feet in. And when the questions come up, I can answer the questions. And lo and behold, I started to really build some rapport there and have a little bit of a presence on some of the chats. I have about a handful of them that I do on a regular basis. And I really started to kind of grow in my knowledge. I started to learn from a lot of other people, and I kind of had a few things to teach. And I was surprised by that. And the beautiful side effect of that is that my Twitter following started to very quickly, organically grow. Now, if you've never done a Twitter chat, this is how I got started doing it. There are better ways to do it. There are different tools that you can use. I don't do a lot of social media tools because I just want to spend time where I want to spend time when I want to spend time. And that may sound like a really horrible marketing plan, but if you focus on the channels that you work the best with, you can make the most of those channels. That's something that I've learned, especially as a solopreneur. Like, your time is very limited. You don't have a social media team always. And so you need to find where you fit. So I just kind of prefer doing it this way. And how I did it was I found the hashtag name of Twitter chat. I'll use, for example, Content Marketing World's Twitter chat, which is at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time on Tuesdays. It's hashtag CMWorld. Put that in the search and then go to the live feed. And then you have the chat happening in real time. That's how I prefer to do it. You can also, there's a site called Chat Salad. If you want to look for a chat that fits whatever industry you're in or whatever interest you have, you can use that as a way to search for the different chats and what time they are. There's chats about everything. So, if you're into music, there's going to be music chats. If you're into marketing, there's marketing chats. Social media, if you want to do digital marketing stuff, there's plenty of chats about that. So definitely, it is the number one thing I would recommend. Now, there's something else that I would recommend about it too, especially if you're a blogger or you have a personal brand or want to kind of build yourself up as an expert or an influencer of any kind. And that is, if you take part in the chats, if you actually are active, not just as a reader, not just following along, but if you're answering, they tend to have these questions that they throw out during the chat. And, if you're putting your input in, definitely save some of those answers that you give. Get like a Word document open, and at some point, after the chat's done, just copy and paste that stuff into a Word document to save back for later. This is a really good tool to use if you get stuck, if you're a blogger and you run out of topics or you're having kind of a day when you need to, kind of have a topic starter. I love to refer to these for that. I love to just have them on hand. If I have like one particular answer that gets a lot of retweets or likes, and so I know it was kind of an effective answer and it was, I've gotten really good feedback with it, and I create a branded graphic with my quote and my name and my branding on it so that I can use it on other channels like Pinterest, like on my blog. So you're kind of creating the content while you're engaging with other people in your industry and getting your expertise out there. It's a really great way to kind of brainstorm with other people and to test your knowledge of your industry, because there isn't one of those chats that I've done that I haven't ended up really feeling like I learned something. And sometimes I learned something about myself, like, hey, I didn't know that. I didn't know that I knew that. And I feel a little bit sharper. You do marketing forever. This is Serious Vanity's 20th year in existence. And it's been a lot of things during those 20 years, but always at the root of it has been marketing. There would be no music out there that I've produced had I not marketed it, had I not found ways to do that. So there is expertise to be shared, but there's still like plenty of stuff to learn because there's people at all levels in those chats. You've got corporate people in those chats. You've got solopreneurs in those chats. You've got students in those chats, and everybody has something that they're bringing to the table. So that is my big Twitter tip. That's what I would recommend. I hope to see you in the chats. Definitely, if you do any of them and I'm in them, say hi. If you want to follow me on Twitter to see what chats I do, my Twitter is @serious_vanity. And if you want to see some of my quote stuff on Pinterest and how I've used that, it is pinterest.com/seriousvanity. And of course, seriousvanity.com/blog is my blog. So thank you very much for this very long-winded description of what I like most about Twitter. And I hope that it helped you today. Have a fantastic Tuesday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.